తెలుసా ఎవరికి తెలియదు గజల్ శ్రీనివాస్ is synonymous with ghazals, that's why it's known as Ghazal Srinivas. Madam Lakshmi Bai garu, Ashok Gajpati garu, and everybody else who's gathered here today, Tulsiram and my friends from the Kerala Samiti, Jija and others, so good to see all of you here today on this lovely morning. I am both honored and excited to be here. Honored that an award of this nature, named after a man we all venerate and worship, is given to a person of this stature. I always felt there is a little bit of injustice to just Sri P.G.Raju garu. He was always called the Maharaja. I always felt there should be a hyphen or a between that words. He was a Maharaja, not just a Maharaja. Somehow I always felt this was a little bit of injustice. Luckily, I was not in power when I could. If it had come before me, maybe I could have done something about it. But at least this is my personal tribute. I also said I am excited. You must be wondering why I am excited. For the younger generation who are here, this is a little bit of a fanboy moment. I know he will not like anything if I praise him. So I will not praise him. The lawyer in me will come in a different way. I admired Sri Ashok Gajpati garu not because he was a cabinet minister, holding a high portfolio in the central cabinet. I have always admired him not because he was a commercial tax minister or any other minister in the state cabinet. I have never admired him because he was a long-term serving MLA. I did not admire him because he was a scion of a royal family. I admired him because he was a genuine, honest, caring, good human being. It is a matter of pride for all of us that he is with us in our midst. I still remember an incident in Delhi airport when he was a civil aviation minister. It was early morning and a winter morning. Suddenly the fog set in. And who do I see standing in front of me in a queue? The Minister for Civil Aviation himself, standing in a queue like a regular passenger, waiting to board the flight, despite the delay. And if I remember right, sir, you were smoking those days? And he said, grinningly, the only benefit I have as a civil aviation minister is they did not frisk me well and they forgot my matchbox. And he went and put it in the dustbin there. That is the simplicity of the man. Later, I still remember seeing him getting out of Godavari Express once, carrying his suitcase and walking away, while a first-time MLA got out with his big entourage of 20 people surrounding him. And I was telling my wife, that is Ashok Garu, and this is the run-of-the-mill politician. He is a rarity, a one-of-a-kind, a very, very rare person, a person with principles in politics. Just as an honest lawyer is a misnomer in terms of a principled politician is a rarity. And I am from that breed, but I can see it. I am also extremely grateful that everybody has mentioned about the contributions made by the family to the growth of education, to the growth of music, to the growth of everything that you could think of in these districts. The MR College of Music was the first college of music started in the country. That produced Garam Venkateswamy Naidu garu, Nedanuri Krishnamurthy garu, Ghantasala garu, P. Susila and a host of others. If you look into the alumni of the College of Education, I think the list will take a whole day. The leprosy mission in Vijayanagaram. How many of you know that when leprosy was considered as a huge social evil, this family started a mission in Vijayanagaram where the patients were taken care of. It is still running, struggling, but still running. There are myriad contributions in every field that you can think of. Every one of us, in one way or the other, has been touched by this family, their benevolence, their kindness, their charity. I don't even know if anybody of you knows it, but yes, I come from a family of lawyers. I'm a fifth generation lawyer. Prior to 5 generations, what were we? My great-grandfather, Mr. Suryanarayan Somyadalu, who was named, after whom I am named, was a Veena Vidwan in this court. Since music and this are there, I am reading from a publication of the Madras Music Academy. The Telugu Anuvadam is by Tanikalla Bharani garu. Vijayarama Gajapati was very fond of playing veena, and himself being a great Vainika, sent his sons to learn the art from Sri Somayajalu, my ancestor. Since Ananda Gajapati preferred to play the sitar, he refused to learn the veena. Though the Raja tried to convince him that veena was greater than the sitar, and anything played on the sitar could be played on the veena, his son refused to learn the instrument. In this situation, Raja invited the Hindustani Sangeeta Vidwan Mahobat Khan, his son and others, to observe the playing techniques of sitar and veena. Mahobat Khan could not play some sangatis on the sitar which were played on the veena. Having seen this, Ananda Gajapati became Somayajalu's disciple and started learning his art from him since then. In the Telugu translation, you would see that there was a competition between Muhammad Khan and my ancestor, which my ancestor supposedly won. The second thing is, another example of his genius is his victory and honor in a music competition held for the music vidwans among the 7 samsthanams in 1831. Music competitions were held in Madras for 7 samsthanams like Mysore, Pudukkottai, etc., etc. Considering Vijayanagaram as a small one, they were given this last line in participation. Maharaja Ananda Gajapati felt very bad for this. But Sri Somayajalu assured him of his performance and said, "What is the place? It is the performance that matters." Though the duration of the stipulated for the performance was only 20 minutes, he played for more than 1.5 hours. Listening to this performance, all the Westerners in the audience also started dancing to his tunes. After this, Somayajalu Garu was declared to have won the competition and was honored by the Viceroy with a certificate of his appreciation. Not to speak about my family, but just to tell you that we were also beneficiaries. And thereafter, the Maharaja is supposed to have told my great-grandfather, the time for kings, zamindars and patronage is going down. Somayajalu, see that your sons learn the English education. An English tutor was fixed for him by the Maharaja himself, as a result of which my great-grandfather could speak with a good clipped British accent, some of which we have also inherited and are trying to emulate. So, sir, we are also grateful to you, eternally grateful to you and your family, and words can never be an answer to our gratitude. And madam, it is an honor for all of us that you are here today to receive the award named after one of the greatest souls of this area. And what is interesting is, Ananta Padmanabha Swami works his miracles in his own way. At this very stage, from this very spot where I am speaking, Sri Gopal Subramaniam, the advocate who took the inventory of the Ananta Padmanabha temple, spoke. I think Professor Das was here, the first memorial lecture honored in my father's memory. God, ma'am, works in his own mysterious ways. A lot has been mentioned about madam, her works, her family. There is a parallel between the Vijayanagaram Samsthanam and the Travancore Devasthanam that I had noticed. In, I think the great dedication, madam, was in January 1750. The Maharaja of Travancore decided that henceforth it is Ananta Padmanabha Swami alone who would be the king, the god, the ruler, and everything else. He executed a great deed of dedication on 18th January 1750. From that date, Ananta Padmanabha Swami became not merely the spiritual leader, he also became the temporal leader, and he became the Raja of Travancore. Ever since then, this great family and its members have been calling themselves Padmanabha Swami Dasas. This is sacrifice of the highest order, the greatest wealth on the land, the greatest. In fact, the inventory of the temple is still a burning issue. Nobody knows what is inside, what is contained. Just imagine a family giving it all of this for the sake of God. Similarly, when the Mansas Trust was formed in Vijayanagaram, Maharaja P.G.Raju also donated all that he had, except for his personal assets, to this trust. And this trust is running about 13 educational institutions and ensuring that the wealth is well used by every generation to generation of this area. That is the similarity that I found, apart from the remarkable humility in both of them. Both of you have also heard that Madam has written a number of books. It is again, as I said, Padmanabha Swami works in his own mysterious ways. I was sitting in a friend's chamber in the Supreme Court and I chanced to see this book, Ananta Padmanabha Swami's book. I just looked at it, and it was a 1975 publication of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan called Ananta Padmanabha Swami Temple. It was an extraordinary work. I didn't have the time to read it fully. I glimpsed through it quickly. 2 days later, this invitation comes. But what was very, very interesting in that book is the way the book was structured and the way Madam paid tribute to Ananta Padmanabha Swami. It is according to her, it is a work of love and veneration. Chapter 1 starts with the title, In Humility. Normally, in any book that is written, you generally say acknowledgements. So-and-so helped me, so-and-so good stood by me, so-and-so guided me, so-and-so supplied photographs, so-and-so supplied anecdotes. But the heading itself starts by saying, in humility. That is how she pays her obeisance to everybody who has helped her in making that book. It is a magnum opus, no doubt about it, no two ways about it. A beautiful work, an extraordinary work on Ananta Padmanabha Swami. The second chapter starts with Aradhana, an invocation. The third and fourth chapter goes on to what is known as Tirupati Dhanam of 1750, the deed of dedication of 18 January 1750, and how Ananta Padmanabha became the temporal and spiritual head, the monarch of Travancore. And what is interesting, as far as we from this area are concerned, she refers to the records and the scrolls and the granthas, or the Churuna, madam, if I am right, the Churuna, and records the visit of a number of important people and important representatives. The visit of Sri Adi Sankara to the temple is noted, and the visit of a representative of the king of Vijayanagaram is also noted. We are talking of history 3 to 400 years ago, and the visit of a representative of the Raja of Vijayanagaram is also noted in this book. Kashi, Nepal, Vijayanagaram, in that order. The book ends with a poem. As you all know, madam she calls herself an amateur poetess, but I don't think I will reserve my judgment on that, and I feel she is not an amateur poetess, she is much more. It says, this serfdom kills, this legacy of century, call me a serf, a slave, what is in a name? And I, your vassal, fettered unto you into silken strands of bliss. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a princess of the royal house of Travancore, calling herself a serf, a slave, and worshipping the God who they worship as their Lord. It is an honor, ma'am, that I have been given this opportunity. For this, I thank my good friend Ramachandra-Raju and Dr. Ghazal Srinivas for giving me this opportunity. When they said it as P.V.G.Raju Garu function, I didn't blink an eyelid. I said yes. For once I know Ashok Garu will not object or cannot object because I am on this side of the... And I decided that I have to say what I have been feeling about this wonderful human being, this great personality who walks, as the great poet said, with equal ease with princes and paupers. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure talking.